Back with another video for you. Don't forget, whatever you do, don't forget, please, we're trying to build this channel, so hit the like and subscribe button and share your comments and give us some ideas on what kind of videos you'd like to see, because we might just have to take some of your ideas and make some videos that you want to see, because that's what it's all about, right? It's not about me just putting in my personal life. While that might be so interesting, I know that people have their own ideas of what they'd like to see. So we'd like to cater to that a little bit. So anyway, we'll get on with it. Now, there's something in this world called a hydraulic ram pump. A hydraulic ram pump was invented in like the 1700s, 1780 or 1790 or something. And they were used all during World War II and other various times in history, quite extensively. Before there was electricity, ram pumps were in widespread use all over the world. They require no power whatsoever. So it's a free source of pumping water from one location to another. The funny thing is that just by the force of gravity, if you have a pipe in a creek or something and you're taking water and feed it to the ram pump, it will go into the pump, it will take the gravitational energy and force it into the pump through the valves, and in turn convert that to pressure in a pressure tank. That air pressure will then in turn, when the valve closes, expel the water to a much higher level. And since it's under pressure, it will literally pump like 7 times higher than the amount of fall that the water fell from first. So if you took, say you had water and your fall was like 10 feet, building up pressure of a 10-foot fall, then it will go like 70 feet high. You can pump it 70 feet straight up in the air, or it would go a farther distance if you had it at a lesser of an incline. But anyway, the bottom line is it's very useful. Some people have plants up in the mountains. They'd like to use a water supply from a creek or something to get water to. It's very quiet, silent, stealthy, and occasionally I have been known to make these little ram pumps for people. They're not very expensive, you know, 50 or 60 bucks in parts at the very most, and I've made a couple of them. And they're fairly easy to make. My first experience with a ram pump was that my father had gotten a ram because we had a cabin way up in the woods on the side of a mountain, and there was a natural spring up there that he wanted to take water from and put it into a reservoir, so that when we spent the weekends on the cabin up in the mountains, we would have, you know, say 500 gallons of fresh water. And we plumbed the cabin with regular plumbing fittings, and we had actual water from a reservoir. So it's very convenient if you need to do water like that. And so that was my first experience with it. And I was present at the time that he inquired to his stepfather, my grandfather. He inquired about that because he remembers him talking about that, how they did that kind of stuff in World War II. So he had experience with those and then passed it on to my father. And then, of course, I got to witness the whole ram pump thing long before they were ever popular, and way, way, way before the internet was ever available. But my dad had bought a very expensive ram, and it worked wonderfully. But now you can even make little tiny rams that pump small amounts of water using things like a 16-ounce drink bottle as the air pressure tank. So it is possible to make them virtually any size you want, from an industrial scale to a micro scale even. And like I say, people who want to either run water from a creek to a reservoir somewhere, it's perfectly possible to do that. Water your plants on the side of the mountain from a creek that's, 7 times lower down, or something like that. You can move water any way you want to with a little thing called a hydraulic ram pump. So here's a video where I actually show a little test where I build one. I have already built it, of course, and I do a little test outside to see how it will pump, just to try it out. This was shortly after I built it. Anyway, enjoy. Don't forget, like, subscribe, and comment, and hit that bell too so you'll get notifications whenever I have new videos up. But we want to hit 1,000 subscribers so we can bring you better content, more content, and really do this thing up right. So anyway, enjoy the video. Hello everybody, this is my newest project. As you know, I'm always building something. This is called a hydraulic ram pump. This takes the flow of water, the fall of the water from gravity, and pumps it to a much higher level, like 7 times higher, by capturing the pressure of the water as it falls downhill and then pushes it uphill. It's a very ingenious thing, and they've been around for many, many years. In fact, during World War II and other times in history, they've used these quite continuously. And it will really put water somewhere where you need it. You can pump it from a creek, like I said, and pump it 7 times higher than the creek level. So here's what I've got. Down here at the other end, you can see over here I have a bucket that's going to simulate water that I'm capturing. We're going to pretend like this is a creek or a reservoir or something. This is just a 5-gallon bucket of water, okay? And I fill it up with my water hose when I need to, just to test this out. I build these things, so if anybody's interested, just let me know. And so I have about 25 feet of black pipe here that leads into some fittings, a couple of valves there, pressure tank, and then what I have over here at the other end is I have a pipe going up to prove to you that this can pump really high. I have it much, much higher, like 10 or 12 feet high. Now, as you can see over here, my water source is much lower. It's only 5 feet high. But over here, we're pumping it about twice as high. And like I said, it will literally go 7 times higher than that. So it would probably go up a hill or up a bank, maybe up to that telephone pole there. But anyway, we're going to try this out and let you see how this works. So what you do is you have your supply of water. Like I said, you could be a dam or a reservoir of any kind coming from a creek where you're getting free water. You need no electricity at all for this. Now what you do is you'll open your little valve here, and now you're going to lose some water. That's why it's nice to be taking it out of a creek, a free source of water, and you can do your irrigation with water that would normally be going down the creek anyway. You're just going to capture some of it. Okay, so we take our valve and we turn that on, and we're going to see some water come out of this one-way valve here. Okay, now you see it starts to pump. Now I have the valve over here turned off. While it's pumping like that, if you'll notice, it's jerking the pipe. So you want to have some really sturdy pipe, and that's called the water hammer effect. Now here you're going to slightly open this valve until it starts to pump water. Now your water over here is going to drop a little bit. It's going to change a little bit. Now if you look over here, look at this. Now it's a smaller flow than we're providing to it, but we're pumping the water uphill with no electricity at all. Many of you could see the benefit of this. This could really be useful if you need to get water somewhere where you don't have water. What if the power went out and your well wouldn't work? Well, if you have a creek nearby or a spring or anything like that, look here, look how high this is going. That little pump right there. So anyway, if you like this, I'd be certainly interested in building you one. So anyway, there you go. That's my newest little project. A 1/2-inch hydraulic ram pump. for pumping water in remote locations to a much higher level where you can irrigate your plants. It might be up on a hill or whatever with no electricity. And it's fairly quiet. As you can hear this, it makes a little clicking noise, but that's all. You don't have an electric motor and you don't have a gas-powered motor. You're never going to burn any energy with this. It just uses the power of nature. Thanks for watching.